So today we've got the handover for the Globecar Summit Shine 540. We often start in the cab section. Normally under this front seat here you have a toolkit. On this model, Globecar have fitted your mains RCD switches and your battery charger. So when you're connecting up to your main supply, you need to make sure that the RCDs are on, and you should see a little green light on the front of the battery charger, suggesting that you've got power supply coming in. Engine battery, as always, located underneath the floor panel, and then your bonnet release on this end. So with the bonnet release, centre lever up, bonnet stay over. This is a new Series 8 model, so we only have a couple of reservoir points on this one. So you've got screen wash just there, your radiator and your brake fluid are there. You've now got electric assist steering, oil filler cap. There's no oil dipstick, that's electronically monitored. And should you need to jump start the vehicle, then there's a little cap here that you lift up. It exposes the little paddle, so the positive goes onto there and the negative goes onto the bolt that's just up top. Fuel fill point. Central locking doesn't affect this outer cap, so you're just using the ignition key in. Ignition key in first of all. Hold the cap, turn the key anti-clockwise, and then you should be able to pull the cap out. And then back in with the cap, and then turn the key clockwise to lock it in. Below that, you've got your AdBlue reservoir. You'll get an indicator on the dashboard indicating when that needs to be topped up. Coming back down the vehicle, you've got your mains hookup, point and flap, and then adjacent to that, you've got your flap access for your toilet cassette. So with the cassette closed inside, you should be able to pull up on the green lever, draw the whole cassette right out. You've got a pull-out handle and wheels for ease of transportation, but extend the neck out, take the grey cap off the top, tip the whole tank up into the sluice, and when you press in this green button at the top, it should allow the fluid then to come out of the bottom. Before you load it back in, a dose of your sachets of green or green liquid, because we're up here in the Highlands, mixed with about 2 litres of water, and then slide the whole body of the cassette back in. It should lock in nice and positively, and you can shut the flap. Directly above that, you've got your exhaust vent for your heating system. You can see that there's a little bit of condensation coming out of that at the moment. It's a cold day, so we've got the heating on inside the vehicle. You've got an underslung wastewater tank, which is processing the water from your shower tray, vanity unit and kitchen sink. There's a lever which will supply to you, which goes onto there and enables you to open and close it for the disposal of that grey water. At the back of the vehicle, you've got your water cap, similar to the diesel one at the front. Key in, turn the cap, and then hose pipe your water in. There's an overflow, so you'll hear water coming out from underneath the vehicle when you hit capacity. When you open up the back doors next to the bed, lift away the cushion. There's a nice little illustration on the label there as well, that you've got your access then to your fresh water tank. If you want to drain the water system down, then you can do it in 2 ways. If you give it 2 full turns, it will drain the tank fully down using the little wheel that's just there that I'm pointing to. If you just turn it 3/4, then it will take it down to a sort of a travel weight of around about 20% of the capacity. Also in the garage section, you've got your gas bottle. You need to make sure when you're traveling that the gas bottle is turned on and off via the brass connection on top. So I've turned it all the way clockwise to turn it off, turn it anti-clockwise, about half a turn or so to get the gas back on. And that feeds through then into the rest of the vehicle. There's some nice later points which we'll show you later on. So sliding door. When you come to close the door, it has a soft close facility that will draw the door back in. We'll reopen the door. Using 2 hands, you can pull across with the fly screen. And there's a step located, switch just located just inside for the step. The fridge has 2 opening points, so pull the aluminium trim outwards and you can open the fridge internally. And if you're on the outside, you can open it on that way. When you come into the van, above the sliding door, you have a 12-volt control panel. top right hand switch enables you to access that panel. You may get a little accompanying bleep to tell you that that's what's happening. Immediately you'll see your fresh water level and your battery level indicators at the top. We're currently plugged into the main supply and the batteries are in sequence, so you've got all those indicators there as well. Turn on your 12 volt and that enables you to access things like your lights, which can then be independently switched. Separate switch for the water pump, and if you're going to be operating the fridge on 12 volt, then you will need to select that frost symbol at the bottom. A couple of information buttons along the bottom of the panel for your temperature, showing you interior and exterior temperatures. Your battery level indication for your leisure battery as well as for your engine battery, and then your water level indicators for the fresh water content. Moving along, we have your Truma heater controls. Press the home button and it will turn on the initial part of the screen. It's indicating that you can access Bluetooth. There's an app that you can run with the Truma system and that we're also plugged into the mains. Tap the unlock screen and you'll see these 6 images displayed. For setting up the iNet, obviously use the iNet app, which you need to download onto your phone first of all. Notifications and for turning off the system, fairly self-explanatory. And if you want to make any advanced settings or changes, then obviously go into that settings menus. We'll concentrate on the simple things of making the van warmer and heating up the water. Go into your room climate button, choose the fact that you want to heat the vehicle, and then you can use the plus and the minus symbols to indicate the room temperature that you desire, and it shows you the current temperature underneath. If you are increasing the temperature, then it will automatically turn itself on, and you'll see a little on flame up there. You can override it and obviously turn it off. You can set it into a comfort mode, so it will gently warm the vehicle up. If you're wanting a slightly more aggressive heating up, then obviously opt for the fast mode. For the energy source, select onto there, and then you can choose whether to have the gas on or off, or what output of electric you want to use, subject to the amount of amperage that's available. Obviously, if you're just wild camping, then you can deselect the electric completely and totally rely on the gas. We'll keep it on the 900 and we'll turn the gas off. Press your return button and it takes you back to the heating menu. Press it again and it will take you back to the front menu. Little green line at the top there telling you now that the heating is up and running and that it's trying to achieve a temperature. For the hot water, it's a similar story. Again, turn the hot water on. You have a couple of different settings for your water. So sort of an eco mode for doing the dishes as it prompts you. If you wanted a shower or a hot or a longer shower, then obviously you can increase or decrease. A faster heating mode, and then again the option of using either electric or gas in the same way as you did with the room heating system. So simple, even I can use it. And there's your indicators up there. If you want to turn the whole thing off, then obviously just press and hold on the off button and it will shut the control panel down and shut off all of your heating systems. Finally, we've got the 12 volt fridge controls. So we've already turned the fridge switch on the control panel at the end. Immediately you will see these screens come into play. Typically when it's starting up and running, then you'll see a performance indicator shown on there, and you can use this one then to increase or decrease your temperature setting. If you want to change the modes either to a nighttime mode or a boost mode, then obviously just press on those move buttons and it will go across the screen accordingly, and it will give you a 12 volt supply to the fridge. Underneath the bed, when you're inside the cabin, you'll come across 2 isolator taps for the gas supply for the hob and the gas supply for the room heating, water heating system. They're in the vertical position at the moment, which means it's allowing the gas flow through. If they're turned through 90 degrees, then you can isolate the supply if required to individual appliances. Lift up the panel underneath the bed and that gives you then access to the wardrobe. Underneath the other mattress is a smaller little cavity locker, quite a nice little discreet one that you could use maybe for passports or cash if required. So you've got a straightforward 2-burner hob system on this one, electronic igniter, and you should be able to fire up the gas burners. No isolators on these lids, so make sure that everything is cooled down before you close the glass down, otherwise you may shatter the glass in operation. Toilet operation on these Dometic toilets: obviously seat up and then pull your lever forward so you can allow your waste to go through. Button in the centre activates the flush water, which comes from your onboard freshwater tank. You've got indicators around that will show you that the cassette has been withdrawn, or that the cassette is either partially or completely full of use, and obviously needs to be drained down. Slide it back in, close your seat back down. 12-volt switches on the front fascia of the sink will give you your power supply to your individual lights, and then a firm tug on the door will then open up for the shower cubicle, and you can obviously operate it from the back. So we've lifted off the front cushion and the protection board underneath so that we can show you the water heating, room heating system. Feature of this is that they have a thermostatically controlled drain valve. So this blue tab is in line with the white pipe. It's allowing water to flow into the system so that the water can be heated up. You have to remember to make sure that you purge the water through from the onboard tank before you start that heating process. In the event of the air temperature in this space going below about 2 degrees, then this valve automatically opens and it allows a discharging process out onto the floor underneath the van. To reset it, it needs to be +8. You need to turn it back to the horizontal position, and if you follow my finger down to the base of this unit, you'll see there's a little blue button, and you press that one back in and that resets the whole unit. So we're into the cab of the vehicle. You have your electric window controls in the foreground, and then you have electric mirrors. So ignition on, you should be able to choose a mirror that you want to adjust and then use the toggle appropriately to get it into the position. Your blind spot mirrors can also be adjusted as well. Silver screens on the doors. Pull the little tab back, guide the whole thing all the way up gently so it stays on track, and then when you get to the top there's a little latch for it to knock back into, and then for the centre blind it comes up from the main location and comes all the way up to the top of the screen accordingly. Within the cab, you've got your new Series 8 digital dashboard, so when you first turn up, it'll light up and you'll get your speed and indicator displays. You can use the arrow functions to go through various options to do with the vehicle setup, as well as giving you information as to your oil level, mileage, fuel consumption, etc. You've also got cruise control functions on here as well, along with the limiter, useful for this area around here for maintaining speed. Reverse on this one is up on the collar and then over and back, and that will put the vehicle over to that side. Your buttons along the bottom here include your heated mirrors, your hazard lights, a means of locking the vehicle from within the cab. Your traction control and hill descent control buttons are located onto there, and then above that your ventilation controls for the speed of the fan, temperature, internal and external ventilation, and then the direction that the fan blows in. So hopefully we've given you a nice exciting tour around your new Summit Shine 540. As always, we're always here to answer any questions, but I sincerely hope on behalf of Highland Camper Vans that the Mileman's going to give you lots of miles and lots of smiles. Thank you for watching.